Obama's economy is in a mess. Washington is in a mess. But Al Franken doesn't blame himself or Obama or the Democrats for inability to support basic economic growth and social progress. They're totally disinterested in economics and totally obsessed with narcissism and bad jokes. I'm Steve Carlson. My first economics professor was Walter Heller at the University of Minnesota. I'm sure many voters remember his great contributions as a teacher. He introduced me to the Wall Street Journal with a free subscription, and Walter was known to many of us as the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors of John F. Kennedy, a very successful Democratic president of the United States. So Al is wedded to Obama's leadership, or lack thereof. Al's a show business giant. Well, he's not that tall, really. Here he's kicking back. Yep, that's him sinking into that huge sofa. He's relaxing because he put out a new attack ad on Mike McFadden, seeking to deflect attention from the bad economy. Mike McFadden uses corporate tax loophole to avoid paying millions in taxes. Al is slamming him from his easy seat. Where's the popcorn? Well, maybe it's not time for the popcorn just yet. Look at this. On the same day Al slams Mike, Steve, that's me, does a little research and finds this about Al's economy. So if we could have a little reality principle here, we might get this country back on track. So here's Al at the great Minnesota get-together. Al's got himself together as some kind of holograph in the DFL booth. Very effective for ducking debates, Al. Meanwhile, back at the White House, Barack Obama and his folks are busy getting Al's marching orders together. Time for an attack ad on McFadden, they say, so off scurries Al, working hard for you and me. Al's kind of a tool for a failed Obama administration. Remember the recount and how Obama and his pals were holding out for Al's vote to get the stimulus bill passed? And Al touts this as a giant success, saying, making investments in alternative energy sources is a win-win. We're able to lower energy consumption and costs while creating much-needed green energy jobs, said Senator Franken. I'm pleased to see federal stimulus dollars making a real impact right here in Minnesota. Sounds like a lot of hot air to me. Funny Al didn't mention the huge stimulus disaster Central Corridor. Here's another Obama tool you might remember. Remember when Christina Roper was trotted out to tell the voters that because of Al and Barack's great stimulus work, the unemployment rate would be down below 8% by the 2010 elections? Well, maybe not. And then the shellacking wave election of 2010 sent a message to Al Franken, to Barack Obama and the DFL, as Republicans swept into the Minnesota legislature for the first time in 40 years. Well, back to the Bermuda Triangle. Here's what I have to say about Al's attack ad on Mike. Well, yeah, Mike is not too much of an asset to the Minnesota economy. I mean, in these turbulent economic times, here's Mike and Lazard seeking shelter in the Bermuda Islands, somewhere out there. And it turns out that he helped set up a deal to sell Medtronic to the Irish. That can't help, to be sure. But isn't the real problem Obama's economic policies and Al rushing around setting up a failed stimulus plan that wiped out half of St. Paul's Main Street, University Avenue? So I just want to say to Al and Mike, let's debate about it. Let's show the voters of Minnesota how we can really revive Minnesota's economy and create millions of jobs across America and tens of thousands here in Minnesota. Al and Mike, you don't have to fight the Civil War all over again. It's over. But there's a piece of it that is holding back Minnesota's economy. A small provision in the Civil War statute, the National Bank Act, has been interpreted by the U.S. Supreme Court as allowing foreign banks, that's banks from other states, to charge you usurious interest on your credit cards. That's why so many of us are buried in debt. Instead of raising the minimum wage through the roof, killing business opportunity and job and wage growth so Minnesotans can pay usurious interest to foreign lenders, why not just change that little provision in the Civil War statute so Minnesota can enforce its usury laws instead of letting other states set theirs so high they can drown us in interest rate usury? I've addressed this in one of my job creation videos from the primary election. So to Mike McFadden and Keith Downey, I would say this: Listen to your excellent Supreme Court candidate, Michelle McDonald. These decisions you make really impact the lives of families, husbands, wives, and children. And that goes for Al, too. Al, it will knock your socks off, but this woman's positions on the economy make a lot more sense than yours, and so do mine. Let's bring back Minnesota's economic opportunity and home economics by looking for real ways to create jobs. I look forward to debating you both on how to restore Minnesota's economy and create jobs. It's not in Washington, it's not in Bermuda, it's right here in good old Minnesota. Let's get down to work as soon as possible. I'm Steve Carlson, and I approve this message.